Welcome to the Enlightenment Academy, where the journey of discovering your inner magic begins. In a world filled with endless possibilities, we invite you to explore the depths of your being and unlock the mysteries of your true potential. Through insightful teachings, transformative practices, and enlightening conversations, we empower you to access the brilliance that resides within you. Join us as we embark on a path of self-discovery, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. Are you ready to tap into the infinite wellspring of magic within you? Here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, everyone. Welcome forward. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. Welcome to Enlightenment Academy. I am so happy to be here with you all. And I am going to open it up right away for questions. You are welcome to call in and ask questions at any point today. 202-570-7057. And Chris will put you in a waiting room and I will answer any questions you've got. But today I wanted to just share a little bit about my personal journey as the reluctant medium. And I think using the word reluctant is being extremely kind. Because it was a lot more than that. Hi, Kimberly. Welcome. So happy to have you guys here, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, being a reluctant medium, well, let's put it this way. I partied like a rock star in my 20s, which literally partied like a rock star in my 20s. Lots of drugs, lots of alcohol, lots of dancing. And then when I turned 30, I was like, okay, I'm done. And I just quit cold turkey. And in quitting cold turkey, some things started to happen. I started to realize that maybe some of the things that I thought I was hallucinating when I was on drugs wasn't hallucinations. I realized that maybe when I had an imaginary friend who was a little dragon on my finger when I was a kid, was not imaginary. But I was still kind of vacillating, I guess. And I knew I wanted to do something different. I knew I wanted to have a different experience of life other than drugs and alcohol and partying all the time and not sleeping for days, right? But I didn't know what I wanted. I had started massage school and hypnotherapy school, and so I was studying some alternatives to healthcare, and I became vegetarian. And hello. And I just chose to start exploring different paths. However, I was asking for something different. I'm like, okay, I want a different life experience. I want something different. And so I started studying Reiki. I became a minister. Minister was more for me, not to actually be a minister, but I did end up marrying a couple of friends of mine, which was fun. but I was just seeking, right? I think I've always been a seeker even before that, but the drugs and the alcohol kind of helped me numb out that I felt like something was missing in my life or that I wanted something different. And then I studied Reiki. I actually became a Reiki master. And I came home from my Reiki training. And that day, I was practicing Reiki on my fiance. And a spirit walks in the room. And this spirit walked in the room. I was like, that's interesting. The spirit just walked in the room. And luckily he was excited and he was encouraging and he was like, that's so cool. Who is it? And I said, I don't know. He's tall, he's thin, he has sunken eyes, he wears a plaid shirt. And he goes, I know exactly who that is. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. that's Slim, a ranch hand from when I was a kid. And I was like, great. And he's still alive? And he was like, no, he's dead. And I'm like, fantastic. I was a little more explicit in that. I'm a medium. And I was not thrilled at all. And I really fought it for a while. And I think I went into maybe even what some people call the dark night of the soul. Because I had such a huge paradigm smash and difference from the life that I was living. I lost all my friends. I lost, who I identified myself as. Everything had changed. And so I just went into this kind of depression, and not really knowing what to do with this said gift. Because I also didn't want to be the crazy lady. I didn't want people to, I was already unique and different, and my name was Venus, and I didn't give myself that name. I was born with it. So I always tried to fit in and be normal and be average. And which is quite funny because I'm also, you can't really tell that on television, but I'm also 6 feet tall. So the fact that I thought that I could hide and be small and was kind of silly. But I didn't want to be the crazy lady. I also, for some reason, thought that if I fully accepted being a psychic medium, that would also mean that I would be single for the rest of my life and maybe have 10 cats. At the time, I didn't have any cats. So I I really just found that I was fighting it. I was asking for them to take it back. I literally was like, is there a return policy on this? Can I give it back? And for those of you who might be wondering right now, I only have one cat right now, but I do have one cat and one dog. And a partner. So being single and 10 cats is not relevant. But who cares? Like, right? Like if you're single and have 10 cats, that's great. Like there's no wrongness. It's like so funny how we have these like images of like what we think we should look like and how we think our life should be. And I know for me, I spent most of my life looking for the one relationship to rule them all, my knight in shining armor that was gonna save me, right? Until I'm like realizing, okay, I'm the one I'm looking for. And I don't need a relationship to make me feel whole and perfect and complete, because I am whole, perfect, and complete exactly the way I am and exactly the way I'm not. And so are you. Kimberly says someone's visiting. Sounds exciting. Sounds intriguing. So fast forward about 3 years after becoming a psychic medium, and I was like, I do not want this gift. Take it back. I then realized that resisting was actually causing the depression, because it was also causing this like separation. Like my mom and I grew up really close to my mom. I'm an only child. So I grew up close to both my parents until my dad passed away. And my mom and I were always close. But when I became a psychic medium, I didn't tell her. I actually hid it from her. And so then I felt like I couldn't talk to her the way that I used to be able to. And so for 3 years, I started to like pull away from her. And she was always like trying to figure out why I was pulling away from her and why I wouldn't talk to her and why I wouldn't come visit her. And I was like, I just didn't know what to say. So fast forward about 3 years of being in this kind of shocked paradigm smash, energy. And I was like, okay, God, universe, whatever you believe. And I was just like, apparently you gave me this for a reason. And I'm working on accepting it. And so I'm going to do a vision quest to Sedona. And Sedona was great because I went to Sedona and I hung out with a really good friend of the family. And he took me around and helped me meet a bunch of gifted people, let's say. And when I met the gifted people, it was like, oh, okay, there's other people out here that are gifted as well. Okay, well, maybe I can accept it. But I still wasn't entirely sure. I was like, I don't know. If someone disappears, they're working and reception is spotty. No reflection on the content. The content is. I'm not sure what that means. So hopefully it's coming through loud and clear for you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and everything sounds okay. Yeah, and we can also ask, because entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them, they get excited when I do videos and they like to show themselves. So they get involved in technology. So if the technology is a little glitchy, you can just ask the spirits to back up like I'm doing right now and just give us some space. But it sounds like it's okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, good. Great. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for letting me know. So I was like, okay, I think maybe I can accept it. And then I was sitting there was this couple that was going to do this healing session. And I was like, I want to watch this healing session just to see what they were doing. And I thought it would be fun. And they were like, yeah, sure, you can totally watch. So I sat in a chair at the edge of the room. What they were doing was some energy work, but they also had like this copper and crystal grid. And the copper and crystal grid, and they had a person on a table inside, and they were doing all this stuff. And I was sitting there just all nice and like, thank you, Kimberly. So they were doing this healing session, and during this healing session, they were doing this thing, and my spirit guides came in and said, open your sight. Because by this time, I realized and discovered that you can turn your sight on and off. So becoming a psychic medium, I had become a reluctant medium. I was very seasoned in keeping everything off. I really didn't want the gift. So my spirit guides come in and they're like, hey, Venus, open your sight. And I'm like, nope. And I am so grateful for their patience and their sense of humor, because I was definitely like a spoiled child when they first came around, when this whole thing first happened, an awakening or whatever it was. And they're like, trust us, just open your sight. So I opened my sight like this much. So I could see the grid. And then when I saw the grid, I was like, there's all these lights and all this stuff going on. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's really pretty and la la. And they're like, now open your sight more. And I opened it like a little bit more. And they're like, Venus, just open your sight to include the whole room. And I'm like, absolutely not. I am not going to do that. And they're like, trust us, you're okay. And I'm like, oh, fine. So I opened my sight to include the whole room. This is in Sedona, by the way. This is all part of the Vision Quest time. And in the back right-hand corner, there's a dark mass. And I'm like, see, I didn't need to see that. And they're like, it's okay. And I'm like, I didn't need to see that. And that was part of my reluctance, was like, I didn't want to see darkness. I think part of it was I was afraid of the Sixth Sense being like the movie, being like how it was going to happen for me. And I was going to see a bunch of people, like how they died. And I was going to see a lot of darkness and maybe evil. And like, and I was like, oh, I don't want to see the dark stuff. And like, and I think I was a little bit scared as well, because I didn't know that I was the dominant energy, or that I was more powerful. So because I didn't know that, I was like thinking, seeing dark energies or being aware of dark energies, I'd be at the effect of them. But what I actually learned from this experience, they were like, okay, now invite the dark energy towards you. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Absolutely not. I am not doing that. And they're like, come on, Venus, trust us. I'm like, man, you guys are killing me. Like, okay, fine. I guess come over here. And when that dark energy hit my aura, energy field, whatever you want to call it, it turned into bubbles of light and went up to the sky, and had this energy. It thanked me, had this energy of gratitude as it went. And in that moment, in that instant, I knew nothing could harm me. The darkness wouldn't harm me. It wouldn't hurt me. And so that's when I truly went, okay, you gave me this gift for a reason. I'm going to lean in and just see where it takes me. And as a psychic medium at first, probably the first thing I did was call my mom and tell my mom. Now, I'm not telling you, if you're newly gifted or awakening, or to tell the people that you care about. I wouldn't tell people that you don't think can receive it, because you need to be encouraged and feel uplifted, and tell people who can receive it. It's just going to be way easier for you. Because right now you're probably, especially if you're newly awakened, you're probably doubting your abilities, you're doubting what you're seeing. And then if you tell somebody that just shoots you down, you'll doubt yourself even more. But I knew my mom could pretty much receive it. But I did ask her. I said, so are you sitting down? And I told her, and she said, well, some of it surprises me, but some of it doesn't. And did you think I wouldn't love you anyway? And, how lucky am I to have a mom like that? So super grateful for her. She's always been super supportive of whatever I'm learning or facilitating or experiencing. And I know that's not true for everybody. I would not have had that same experience as my dad had my dad still been alive. So, but he wasn't. So I didn't have to cross that bridge. So as a reluctant medium, then I started just doing it more, just accepting the gifts as they came, so accepting the awareness as they came. There were times that, even on that drive home from Sedona, where I would stop and clear some battlefields of entities and spirits still fighting, that didn't realize that they were still fighting. There was just, but it's funny how loud it seemed and how many more spirits there seemed to be when I was resisting it and fighting against it and not wanting it. But then as soon as I lowered my walls and barriers and surrendered and said, okay, I accept that this gift was given to me for a reason, it got a lot more peaceful. It got a lot more quiet. And, and then I just kind of handled whatever was in front of me whenever it was in front of me, but it wasn't in front of me in my face all the time. But it's interesting how much when we resist something, it holds it in place. And when we have allowance for it, it can just flow and it can come and go. And it doesn't have to be stagnant or stuck or in this like energy of Yeah, just the fight or flight, like you're fighting against. So I don't know, for those of you who are out there, if you are somebody who has gifts, that you have questions about your gifts, or you have questions about opening your gifts, anything like that, please feel free to call 202-570-7057. Anywhere maybe you're resisting your gifts, you're welcome to call in. You don't have to ask. And if you have any different questions, they're all welcome here. So it doesn't have to be on what I just talked about, but if you have something that you'd like to talk about as far as being a psychic medium, how to tap into your gifts, how to use them for the good, for the greater good, anything at all, feel free to call in. So yeah, I just became, I had a lot of allowance for it, and I became at ease with it. And then luckily, as I leaned into it, more and more things came from it. I started to teach people how to tap into their own psychic and medium abilities, whatever they are. And that's really extremely rewarding, because it's fun to see people like open up and then use their own gifts in the world. We're all gifted. We all have the abilities to tap into this. It's not just for a select few. Yes, some of us are born with it and have it from a very young age, but the truth is almost all children are more aware at a very young age, and they just turn it off because their parents tell them it's not real, or it's not that they don't believe it. And so then if their parents don't believe it, then they're like, oh, okay, I must have been making it up. It must be my imagination. But if you've ever seen a baby like cooing and laughing at the ceiling, they're cooing and laughing at the beings of light, the angelic realm, their spirit guides, whoever's up there playing with them, right? So they see them. So do animals. My my cat will always come in the morning and tell me it's time. There's something we call office hours, where you take time to talk to spirits, clear spirits. Awesome, Cohen. We will send you a message. You can do that. Cool. And yay, we have a caller. Kimberly, come on. Hello, Kimberly. I can't hear Kimberly.
Magical arts a long time ago. And it was basically broken down between active and passive. Active we considered when we manipulated energies, versus passive when we considered mediumship and psychics more passive, because they were able to tune in to what was just going on at that time. Now, I was told by my mentor that if I were ever able to control my gifts, I would be extremely dangerous. And I shut down immediately and left the magical community, basically. So I've now joined with Venus, and I felt a lot better, but I do still have blocks about that.
Okay, cool. So everywhere where you bought, so the only reason why somebody says something to us and it sticks us is because we buy it as real and true. So everywhere where you bought that was real and true about you, would you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, wrong, good, bad, puck, putt, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Yeah. Cool.
Now, my pad pocket ad hoc.
It's all good. And then for those of you who are brand new to the clearing statement, it's an access consciousness tool, and you can go to theclearingstatement.com and learn all about it. So great. Now, Kimberly, this is something that, thank you for bringing this up, because this is actually something I had to look at for myself. And it's really about asking yourself, truth, are you here to do good or are you here to do evil? And there's no right or wrong answer.
Definitely do good. And over the years, that has been a definite path I have walked. And that's now it's definitely a big thing that needs to happen all around. That's a big dong that has brought me back to the spiritual community. It's like there's an awakening that needs to happen as far as connection with community, kindness, and love going back into the world, because it's something Mother is not happy.
Yeah.
So
most of the time we, in another lifetime, we did evil with our gifts and capacities, right? And so we think that somehow in this lifetime we're going to do the same, but it really is just a choice. It's a choice as to like, okay, so what do you want to do with it? If you want to do good, great. But then also being in that space of like forgiving yourself for any lifetime that you didn't do good with it. That's okay too.
Yeah. And I guess there's some that when I was taught if the shoe fits. So, and I'm saying things that I probably shouldn't. When things happened that were not good. So it's not, that's another reason why I walked away, because yes, I was dangerous.
Right. But your choice created an awareness, right? You chose that, and then you're like, oh, I actually don't want to do that anymore. So I'm going to choose to follow.
I definitely,
right.
That was not something I knew what my intentions were going in, and said, if the shoe fits, then so be it. And apparently the shoe fit, and they had done something bad, and they got punished for it.
Yeah, but everywhere where you're still punishing yourself for it, can we destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, puck, putt, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds.
Yeah.
Choice just creates awareness. It's not right or wrong, good or bad.
Okay. Yeah.
You made a choice and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't like that. I won't choose that again. So.
And I want to make the choice because I admire, like the psychic and the mediums. I admire y'all because I know they're around me and I can feel them.
Mm-hmm.
Yet I'm not interactive as like that. Somebody comes up to me and it's like, I don't see your dead people. I can read you like a book now. But as far as your ones who have passed on, I don't get that. And I admire y'all who can do that. It's like, it's an amazing gift to me. And I'm asking for, that's why I'm wanting to get into this and study it, because I want to be able to do that. But it's like,
Well, cool. Well, you're in Becoming a Medium. The class is starting next Saturday. So, I am doing an 8-week class on becoming a medium. So if anybody's out there has ever wanted to tap into these gifts, it is possible for anyone. And you can come to that program if you'd like. Well, thank you, Kimberly. Is there anything else I can contribute to you?
Nope. Thank you so much. That helped a lot.
Okay, good. Thank you for calling in. And thank you, everyone. We're just going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Home Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Home Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome forward. And thank you. Cool. And Simon had commented, and I just wanted to say it's just very true. It really is just a choice. What you do with your gifts is a choice. But it's also a choice whether you want to tap into them. It's a choice whether you want to use them. You can turn them off and tell them no, right? So as part of my being a reluctant medium, I had a couple of mentors back then that could find missing children. And I'll be honest with you, I knew I was not emotionally stable enough back then to do that. So I just asked that they not come to me to ask me to do that, meaning the spirit realm. But it was a choice, and I'm not wrong for not choosing that, because I know that there's lots of great people out there that are willing to choose that and willing to do that. So you get to say whatever and however things show up for you. You know, if you see them, that it's because that's what you can handle. If you hear them, it's because it's what you can handle. If you want to hear when you don't hear, you can just ask. Like Kimberly said, she's like, she feels them. She knows they're there, but she would like to have more of a communication with them. And so that's also possible. It really is just ask. Ask for what it is that you like, and you can have it. Like I said, I was asking for something different. I didn't really ask to become a medium, but I did ask for my life to change. So I also say, be careful what you wish for, and maybe be a little bit more specific. Because if you're going to do a general, like, I'd really like my life to change, you might get something like become a medium when you're not ready for it. I guess I was ready for it. But anyway, I think that that's so fun. Cool. Simon says, my aura is golden yellow with sky blue. Cool. How's it get better than that? So if there are no other callers, you are always welcome to call in. Then we will do our guided meditation visualization right now. And we're gonna do this. And this is an invitation for any of those of you who are asking to tap into these gifts more and to expand them more. We'll do a visualization on that now. And if that's not something that you like, then maybe turn off this live. Because I'm going to say, again, just be aware of what you're asking for. Not right or wrong, good or bad, just choice. Take a couple of deep breaths. Allow yourself to just relax into the moment. Relax into your body. Go ahead and look around the room that you're in. Just take in what's around you. And then when you're ready, closing the eyes. And I invite you to bring your body along with you. So a lot of times we believe that somehow we need to remove ourselves from our bodies to go on a meditation journey or a visualization. And I'm going to invite you to that incredible ability you have to be everywhere all at once. So include your body in your being. You don't have to stuff your being into your body, but just invite your body to go along with you. Because the body has a lot of sensations and awarenesses that it's constantly letting you know, hey, there's an entity here, or there's a being over here, or there's something that you should know. So what might be available to you if you include your body? Your body, your eyes are the ones that see. They don't see everything, but they can see things like sometimes aura colors, or you can see energies. There was a time whenever I was practicing seeing the spirit realm with my physical eyes. And I started to train my eyes to be able to see the spirit realm. You can do that too. Just use a place to focus. So right now, just for fun, focus on the back of your eyelids. Find a spot. Maybe it's a light spot, a blue spot. And focus your eyes on that spot. Allowing yourself to include every sensation going on right now. And focusing on that spot behind your eyelids. And notice how it gets brighter and darker, and maybe moves around. Energy moves. Energy is fluid. It's not stagnant. It doesn't have really hard lines of definition. It's often ebbing and flowing, coming and going. So even as you begin to perceive the spirit realm, it's fluid. Allow it to come and go. Allow it to have focus and then to dissipate. But what do you perceive? Maybe you can see something on the back of your eyelids. Or maybe you just feel it. You just know it. However you're receiving information, whether you're hearing it, or feeling it, seeing it, any of those things, it's not right or wrong, good or bad. Let go of comparison. Let go of there's a right way and a wrong way. And just receive how it comes to you. Lower your walls and barriers, even the ones you don't know about. And notice how much more you're aware of when you're not defending or making yourself wrong. Let your awareness expand out 100,000 miles in all directions. And then just become aware of the room that you're in again. This time with your eyes closed, so that the physical world, the defined world, isn't distracting you. And what are you aware of in this room? What energies are there? Maybe there's dark energies, maybe there's light energies, maybe there's stuck energies, maybe there's fluid energies. And just receive the information however you receive the information. What are you aware of? What do you know? What can you feel with your body? If you see them, what do you see? What do they look like? If you hear them, what are they saying? Or maybe you just feel a presence. How are they being with you? Meaning, do you feel supported? Do you feel like maybe there's some asking something of you? Maybe one is a family member that's been trying to connect with you. Spirits get very excited and are very fast. So if you're having trouble understanding them, ask them to slow way down. Tell them they have to dumb it down for you so that you can understand them. Just to allow yourself to be with the energy. You don't have to do anything with the energy. You can just be with it, be aware of it. Acknowledge what you're aware of. Be grateful for what you're aware of. Your acknowledgement and your gratitude will have your capacities grow and get greater. If you judge and compare your capacities to others, it will diminish. And just acknowledge, what are you aware of? Maybe one of them wants to talk to you. What do they have to say? What do they want you to know? And again, maybe you hear them, or maybe you just know what they want you to know. Some of mine are telling me they have my back. Others are coaxing me forward. In my room, there are some beings without bodies that would like to be cleared, meaning they would like to move on. What are the beings that are around you asking of you, wanting of you? And it's your choice whether you give it to them or not. So if one of them is asking something of you that you don't want to contribute or you don't want to do for them, that's okay. Just tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. And you have to find somebody else who will. I also knew early on that I was not going to go tell strangers that I could see their grandmother. So even though grandmother would come to me in grocery stores, I'm like, I'm not going to walk up to somebody who doesn't know me and start talking about their dead grandmother. So I asked the beings without bodies if they wanted me to talk to somebody, that they bring that person to me to ask me to talk to them. For you, what would you like? What would you like your life to be about? Would contributing to the spirit realm or practicing your awareness of the spirit realm make the world a better place? If that would be fun for you, lower your walls and barriers and lean in. Who or what are you aware of? And remember that you are never in danger. You are always safe and protected. They are not more powerful than you. They might know more than you, sort of. They might remember more than you. Let's put it that way. So some beings without bodies remember all their lifetimes and all of their abilities and all that's available. Not all of them, but some of them do. You do too. You've just chosen to forget some of that stuff so that you could be here in this life on the planet at this time. Just allow yourself to be with this room full of beings without bodies. Maybe there are animal spirit guides. Maybe there are guardian spirits. Maybe there are angels. Maybe there are ghosts. But begin to just tap into each group and see how their energy feels different. Notice the difference of ghosts or spirits of the dead versus your archangels or ascended masters versus even your guardian spirits. A lot of guardian spirits had physical bodies at one point. So they did have an earthly body at one point. Whereas many, not all, but most of like the angelic realm has not had a physical body. So just observe the difference between the groups. The animal spirit guides also being guides that had bodies at one point, or maybe have bodies now, because your animals that are alive right now can also be your spirit guides. Just allow yourself to play and to practice. The more you practice this awareness, the stronger it will get. And let's thank all of your spirit guides, all of your angels, all of the ghosts, all of the entities, beings without bodies that came to visit you during this visualization. Thank them, and you can come back and visit them again anytime. They would probably really like that. Taking a couple of deep breaths. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and come forward to this new moment in time, and maybe bring the awareness of all the beings without bodies with you. If you'd like. Thank you very much, everybody, for doing this guided visualization with me and for coming today. Thank you for all your comments and questions. I'm truly grateful for you. Look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a magical week. Bye.